People argue on hi-fi sites and forums that speakers haven't really changed much. That may or may not be the case, but what undeniably is the case is that they've got better at their price. So about 10 years ago, I had some DC6T SE speakers from Tannoy. These are big floor standing speakers with a passive radiator on the front, similar to these Demand D11s. And even adjusting for inflation, these Demand D11s are so much more resolving at the same price. Usually I like to make my mind up on the sound quality of products just by listening to them myself without being adversely affected by the manufacturer's specification. It's a bit like a doctor who makes his mind up himself before he's read your notes. But in this particular case, I've got to say, when I was going through the specification on Definitive Technology's website, I kept looking at each individual technical feature and their explanation for why the product should sound as it should based upon that technical feature. And I just found myself thinking, yep, I agree with that. Yep, agree with that one. Yep, agree with this one. Sorry, I've got an ice cream van in the background if that's what you can hear on the video. Yeah. But what I guess all of this means is that it's great to have a trustworthy manufacturer, you know, a manufacturer who sells products that do what they say on the tin. I like that. Just as I finish the segment, the ice cream van music stops. These Demand D11s use what's called a passive radiator, which is like a bass driver without the voice coil. And you look on the top surface of the cabinet, you can see a fabric cover. So in effect, it's just a cone speaker without all the usual gubbins that goes with a driver. Definitive Technology say that they are a room-filling speaker, and with their design and the upward radiator, it's not surprising, and that this is true to form. Also, you can be in front of them and you get that room-filling sound, or if you move off axis into a different part of your room and go for a wander in the room, you still feel as if you're totally enveloped in the sound. I suppose in some respects this isn't surprising that Definitive Technology do this because they're known for home cinema. What this adds up to is that these speakers are pretty good as 2-channel and would make perfect front speakers for a home cinema system as well. If you were to cut the fabric open at the top of the speaker, you'd notice that the passive driver is an oblong shape, common to other Definitive Technology speakers, by the way, but it has 2 spiders in it, which is components to keep the driver moving in a true fore and aft motion, like a pistonic motion, rather than letting it rock from side to side. Obviously that's going to help in ensuring that the driver is nice and dynamic. On this dome tweeter, Definitive Technology say that by offsetting it 5 degrees, so 5 degrees here, this is the center line obviously, they're eliminating diffraction effects off the front baffle. So what happens is that sound obviously comes out forward from the tweeter here, but it can also run across the front of the baffle here to here, where it will diffract, and it will also run across here and diffract from here, and obviously it can do the same from the top. The effect of that is that because this is a shorter distance, it's not arriving at these combined effects of diffraction are not arriving at the listening position at the same time. So you don't get the same peaks and troughs in the frequency response or other anomalies in the speaker. One thing that's for sure is that the treble response in these speakers is very even, and when Definitive Technology say that they produce a very even frequency response, or smooth frequency response rather, they can't be wrong. Again, this smoothing of treble is achieved by this lens in the middle, which Definitive Technology called a tweeter alignment lens. And one thing is for sure, you won't be getting sibilant, edgy treble with these speakers. They're not like that at all. notice on the front there's this plug shape thing on the bass and mid-range driver. Definitive Technology call it their linear response waveguide. It's basically a phase plug or waveguide which improves the off-axis performance of the driver. So when you sit bang square on in front of the speakers or go off in your room to do something by the side, you still get the same enveloping sound wherever you are. In them saying it improves dispersion, they aren't wrong. Again, dispersion is probably one of the best characters of these speakers. Now I can actually make a comparison with the Neat Iota Alphas that I have at the moment. With the stands, these Definitive Technologies are in UK money about £1,300, £1,000 for the speakers, £300 for the stands, against the Neats £1,385. They're kind of a similar speaker in the sense that the same box size. The Neats are obviously a mini floor standing speaker with spikes, and these are obviously stand mounts. The Neats are more about transients with treble and speed of treble and the width dispersion of, you know, the detailed sound that you get with them with their treble. But these Definitive Technologies are more about bass richness, tonal warmth, room filling sound, dispersion and off-axis performance, and that kind of linearity you get with a really nice rounded speaker where all of the frequencies in the sound have equal volume and there's nothing harsh that sticks out. It's just a very easy listening sound, put it that way. The thing about smooth treble that's in the Definitive Technology literature is also very true as well, and that's one thing you'll notice. Maybe a cliche thing to say, but I don't think you're going to have any grumbles with these speakers. If this is the type of sound you want, you've chosen that type of sound. Maybe you're not bothered about the type of sound, but if you want to actually, you know, you haven't actually sought out to pick a particular sound before, but if you do, then, and this is the type of sound that you want, you'd be hard pressed to pick better speakers, I'd say. I'm not going to say and sit here and say you've got the best in the class at this price, because I don't know, because I'd have to check every single speaker out, or lots and lots of speakers out around this sort of price. But another thing that is really good is that they're really well made, and there aren't many speakers you'll find that have bead blasted front aluminium bezels. I mean, you've got to be looking at much more expensive hi-fi to be getting that type of surface effect. And what basically it is taking a piece of aluminium, getting a bead blast gun and firing glass beads at it, and you create this lovely pitted surface aluminium look. For example, at the moment I've got a Hegel Mohican CD player that's £4,000 and it uses it across the whole of the case. I think what this also means as well is that this sonic palette these speakers give off is that amp matching is probably going to be quite easy. I certainly found it was very easy. So starting off with a Marantz PM7000M, which is an integrated streaming amplifier, £1,000. These speakers suited the similar character of the Marantz in the bass, in that tonal warmth of the bass. Then changing to a Hegel H120 integrated with a DAC. Hegel's about double the price. I found that you still got a nice sound, and then going all the way to my Cyrus system, my signature system, you know, even better. So in summary, I think if you want really good tonal refinement, 3D spaciousness and relaxed listening, these speakers are definitely going to be your ticket. Great for 2-channel or home cinema. I love the design of them, and basically I like them. Anyway, thanks for watching my little video, and I hope you like the way I've gone through these speakers, some of the technology in the speakers, and also if you're someone that wants to buy them. Stay tuned for my next video, which is on the Hegel H120 integrated amp. So please remember to watch that one, and in the meantime hit subscribe for all upcoming films. Thing.